أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني وافقهوا قولي. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. And I would like to offer my condolences to the Muslims all over the world and to the Imam of our time, Imam Hujjallah Ajal Farjum al-Sharif. Muhammad. For the Shahadat of Imam Ali and Hadi Naqi A.S. Generosity, kindness and generosity. Today I would like, inshallah, to look at this word generosity and what it means. Because someone, it's easy for them to be kind, but generous, it's a few people who are able to reach the stage of generosity. What is generosity? And what is kindness? Kindness is just me giving something or giving to someone, either me expecting to get something back from them, meaning what? I give someone something, and then when I'm in need, I go back to that person and I say to them, remember when I gave you this? Or remember when I did this towards you? Or when they do something towards me that harms me, and then I recall, I remind them, remember when I did this for you, and this is how you repay me? Well, thank you. This is not generosity. Generosity is me giving and not expecting anything back, and only giving for Him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for the sake of my own nafs, not for the sake of riyah, of showing off towards other people. For example, if the sadaqah box is being passed out, I don't want to pull out $200 bills, 200 of $100 bills, and put it in there so everyone can see what I'm doing. And then on top of that, I pull out a $500 bill and I put it in there to show people how much money I have, to show off, or to show people, oh look, I drive this expensive car, I drive a Mercedes, I drive a Ferrari, I drive the newest car out there, or I have a house that's a mansion that has a 20-bedroom house. Now, how do I show people this? I show them by not showing off, but, for example, inviting them to my house for majalis, just for the intention of me showing them, look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me. This is not generosity, brothers and sisters. This can lead us to doing riyah, to showing off. And we know that the Imams alayhi salam never showed off once in their life. We will look at an ayah now. If we want to be generous, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us in the Holy Quran how we can attain generosity, how we can attain righteousness? Inshallah, we'll look at this ayah after Allah sallallahu Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, which is Surah number 3, verse number 92. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, never shall you attain righteousness until you give away what you love. Now, the translator here put him in parentheses, in brackets, meaning what? To give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I will not attain righteousness until I give what I love in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Allah is telling me. If I want to attain righteousness, this is what I have to do. Now, is this righteousness just for certain individuals, or can anyone attain it? Any one of us can attain righteousness, brothers and sisters. It is easy to attain righteousness. How? Whatever I do, I tell myself, I'm doing it for the sake and only for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallallahu
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Subhanallah.
Because remember that we can give for the sake of showing off, like what we said before, or for the sake of expecting something back. I did something for you. Now I'm expecting you to do something back for me. In human nature, we have the tendency to do that. I've done something nice for you. Now it's only proper that you do something nice for me back in return. But also, there's also another human nature that comes in that says, no, let me do something good so that it may benefit me in the long run. How? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever I want to do something, I have to ask myself, how would this action me doing benefit the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So, for example, if someone angers me, do I go back and anger them? No. Why? Because I want the benefit from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for me, I have to be selfish in one way. In which way? In the deeds and the good deeds of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I reward you if you forgive him, or if you forgive her, then what should I do? I should forgive my brothers and sisters. I should unite each other. Why? Only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing else. Not because, oh, you did wrong to me, or she did wrong to me, or she did this to me, or he did that to me. La. No. This is not the proper way of attaining righteousness. Because every day in our life, we suffer because of this. Because of our own doings, to our own nafs. Zalamtu nafsi. Right? I've done dhulm on oppression on myself, not on others. Because in order for me to attain righteousness, I have to clean this thing of riya and kibr and pride within myself. Because if we look at Surah Al-Baqarah and we go into depth in it, we see how the shaitan was so good and he was obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what got kicked him out of heaven? Pride. Pride got him kicked out of heaven. So now when we look and we ask, how can I attain righteousness? There was a person named Abu Ayyub, Khalid ibn Zayd. He asked Rasulullah this question. He asked Rasulullah for an advice. Inshallah, we'll go into that advice after Allah sallallahu Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Abu Ayyub approached the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi and asked him, O Messenger of Allah, advise me. Advise me. And he said, he not just said advise me and he stopped there. He said, advise me and keep it brief so that I may remember. You know, sometimes when we tend to give advice, we tend to give a huge essay or a huge lecture just on advice. But here, Abu Ayyub asked the Prophet ﷺ to make it brief so that he may remember. Why does he want to remember the advice that Rasulullah gave him? Because he wants to practice it. This is why he said, keep it brief, so that I not just remember it, but I also may practice it. So Rasulullah told him, I advise you to do 5 things. 5 things I advise you to do. Inshallah, we'll go into them. After Allah sallallahu Muhammadin wa
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Remember earlier where we talked about money and people having huge houses and cars? One of the advice that the Prophet ﷺ gave to Abu Ayyub was, do not concern yourself with what is in the hands of others, for this is richness within itself. This is the first advice. Now what does the Prophet mean by this? Do not concern yourself with what others have. This is what it means, brothers and sisters. I shouldn't look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this person a house. This person's a kafir. This person's a disbeliever. This person doesn't believe in the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them so much? They don't even believe in the tawheed or the proper tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them so much. First of all, let me say, MashaAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. And let me remind myself that this world is just temporary. This world is like an amusement park. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this in the Quran. When we go to an amusement park, we don't want to live at an amusement park. We just go there and we go back home the next day, and then a couple of days later we forget about it, right? This is what this world is about. This world is just a test for us to attain righteousness. So if we want to attain righteousness, let me not look at what other people have. Let me look what I have and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, I should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to thank Him. And not only that, I should thank Him for allowing me to thank Him and allowing me to thank Him. So this goes on and on, brothers and sisters. Once I have attained this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us more, inshaAllah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, look, my servant has not only thanked me, but has thanked me so that I gave him a tongue in order to thank me. My servant has thanked me even though I have given him little. So you know what I'm going to do for my servants? I'm going to give them something better in the hereafter. This is what it means when Rasulullah says, do not concern yourself with what others have, for this is richness within itself. I ask you, brothers and sisters, a question. You have the religion of Amir al-Mu'mineen. If I was to offer you a blank check, meaning you can put as much money as many amount as you want on this check, would you sell your religion? No. So why do we concern ourselves with what other people have? You have something in you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you something worth more than gold, precious than all the jewels you can even think about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. Second, it's the opposite of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah says what? He says, do not be greedy, for that is poverty within itself. First he says what? Do not concern yourself with other people's what? Wealth, for this is richness. The second he says, do not be greedy, for this is poverty within itself. Meaning what? Have we not heard Rasulullah say, Sadaqah pushes away bala? Have we not heard say that there's sadaqah jari, meaning if I teach someone, it continues on and on and on even after I die? Have I not heard the Prophet say, or not read what the Prophet said, that sadaqah increases, Allah increases your wealth and your rizq? This is what it is. If I have greed, it brings poverty inside of me. Number 3, brothers and sisters. Yes, we might be tired of hearing this, but there's a reason why number 3 is important here. Rasulullah says, pray each prayer like it's your last. Why? Pray each prayer like it's your last prayer. Remember, this is not the first thing that he said. This is the third that he said. Pray each prayer like it's your last. How should I pray? What does he mean by this? When we pray so fast. MashaAllah. Like we're racing to get somewhere. Right? Yep. Everyone here knows their birthday, correct? Yep. If I was to ask every single one of you here, when is your birthday, you're able to tell me, correct? But if I was to tell you, or if someone was to ask me, when will we die? Can I tell them the date of my death? No. No. Why? Because this knowledge is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, because I do not know when I'm going to die, how do I not know that this prayer I'm going to offer is my last prayer? So the way I should pray like Malik al-Maut is in front of me. And right after I say the taslim, he takes my soul. This is how I should pray, brothers and sisters. This is how I should pray. I'm not saying this is how you should pray. No, this is how I should pray. Because I should practice these things first before I tell anyone. So I should pray like this. Like Malik al-Maut is in front of me. And not only in front of me, but in front of me, and I see him. I see him in his state. So I should pray. I should pray to the point that I see him and I recognize that this is Malik al-Maut, just like how I recognize this is my mother or my father in front of me. This is how I should pray. Like it's my last prayer. I should pay attention to it. Every rakat, every surah, I should read it properly. I should make sure I'm reading it properly.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Now the fourth is avoid that which is regrettable, which are what? Sins. Because if I pollute my souls with sins, it is very hard for my prayers to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because there's blockage and there's barriers. It's not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't hear me, because Allah is what? The all-hearing, correct? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears my prayer, but if I have so much sins, will He answer my prayers? No. Because of my sins. Because I don't regret anything. I do whatever it is and I don't regret it. Later on, in Yawm al-Qiyamah, I will come to regret these sins. If I talk bad about someone, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish me for the sake, just for me talking about this person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish me in this way. I talk bad about someone, or about my brother, or about my sister in Islam. Because in the Quran it says, if I backbite, it's like what? Eating the dead flesh of my brother. The carcass, basically, right? In Yawm al-Qiyamah, if I backbite, or if I wrong someone, or if I usurped, if I stole somebody's rights, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it right on that day. Because what? He's al-Adil. That's why in Usuluddin, you don't see Ar-Rahman. It's Al-Adil. The just of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why the just of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because in order to be just, Al-Adil, you have to be Ar-Rahman and you have to be Ar-Rahim. You have to be all the names of Allah in order for you to be Adil. Right? So now, on the day of judgment, if I wrong someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring that person. And that person will be like, Naeem wrong. And then what will happen on that day? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take the good deed that I've done and give it to him, and the bad deed that he's done will come to me. Now let's say I have no more good deeds left. What will happen? I will take the bad deeds. Now instead of me going to heaven, I'm going to Jahannam. Why? It's because I have usurped somebody's rights. The fifth one, important, very important. It's love for your brother as what you will love for yourself. So if I want to be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let me forgive others. Let me not just forgive others. If somebody wronged me, let me forgive them before they even ask for forgiveness. Even if they don't ask for forgiveness, let me forgive them. Why? Because the unity is more important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The unity of Islam is more important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than division. So if my brothers in Islam, it doesn't matter what sect they're from, let me call them let me invite them for dinner at my house. Let me teach them. Let me learn from them. Let me ask them to teach me the Quran. Let me see how they understand the Quran. Let me teach them the akhlaq of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Sallallahu Muhammadin wa Because if I teach them their akhlaq, what would happen? Insha'Allah, by the grace and the will of Allah, they will be guided to Sirat al-Mustaqim. Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam. He used to practice this ayah that we went over, where it says, never shall you attain righteousness until you give, basically in the way of Allah, of what you love. Him, the 10th Imam, Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, and Imam Muhammad Jawad alayhi salam, they loved to give food and everything until they had nothing in their house, nothing in their possession. To the point that Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam gave food to the poor, to the orphan, and whom? To the captive. Who else did we see that did this in history in Islam? And the Quran also speaks about them. The Quran says about these certain individuals, it says, and they give food for His love, meaning Allah's love, to the poor, the orphan, and the captive. Who are these people? Who are these four individuals that did this action? These four individuals I'm talking about, that Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam did the same thing, is whom? None other but Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They all gave to the poor. What? They gave to the poor. Not only the poor, they gave to the orphan. Not only the orphan, but they also fed the captive. So, this is what we should do if we want to attain righteousness. If we do not have food, if we do not have money to give, then you know what? Even 10 cents is enough. Why do I say 10 cents? I'm going to give you an example that I've seen with my own eye. A person came in the mosque and he was stressing. He's like, oh, I don't have a lot to give. I don't have a lot to give. So somebody asked him, what do you have in your pocket? He's like, all I have is 10 cents to my name. He's like, put it in the sadaqah box. He's like, okay. He's like, but this 10 cents is nothing. You probably just buy a piece of gum and not even. He's like, just put it in the sadaqah box. He put it in the sadaqah box. This was around morning time. After dhuhr prayers, the sheikh called him in his office. The sheikh gave him an envelope. He opened this envelope, and inside this envelope had $200. That 10 cents that couldn't buy anything, grew to $200. This is the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See how he gave in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him back. This is what we should do, our brothers and sisters. If we see someone in need, give them everything we have. Give them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of you. I promise you that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of every single one of us. Because if He is to take care of the people who don't believe in Him, you think He will not take care of the people who actually believe in Him and who depend on Him and who are righteous towards Him? This is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us, for those people who do righteous, who are right towards Him. So we should help each other, brothers and sisters. Even if we think it is hard, we should help each other. We should unite and help each other. For what? Only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to attain righteousness. Sallallahu Muhammadin wa ali
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Inshallah, if we can please recite Surah Al-Fatiha for all those who are passed away, our loved ones. Surah Al-Fatiha. After Allah, Sallallahu Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.